My name is Ashish. We are Down the Shore Marketing, and
I'm CJ. How you doing?
so this time, this is Valentine's Day, and this is a Valentine's Day special. So we decided to showcase two wines which most people like. Pinot Grigio is always a big sell in Cobblestone, and so our dark reds.
It's a dark red.
It's a
The
dark
Roscato,
red.
it's part of the whole family of reds. Everything from a Prosecco, which isn't really a red, to a Blanco, which also isn't really a red, to a medium or a rosé, a dark, and some darkling, some sparkling dark red Proseccos.
You just coined a new word.
Yeah, darkling.
Darkling.
So let's start with yours.
All right, sounds good. So this is the Bianco Pinot Grigio. This is a company that is part of the Santa Margherita brand, and they make a lot of Pinot Grigios. And some of the Pinot Grigios that I've tasted in the past have been pretty severe, very Italian style. But I believe this is a
What's
little
severe?
Severe, meaning they're like very tart and very
Lots of tannins?
Not as many tannins, but very tart and not as citrusy. So it's very almost like Sauvignon Blanc, if I can call it that. Sauvignon Blancs are almost like very raw, grapey feeling wines. And that's what Pinot Grigios are. I think they're related. I'm not sure, but I think they're related. They taste very close at times. But I believe this one is different. So let's try it. Let's give it a shot and see what it has to say. You first, and I twist, right? There you go, twist and turn. There you go.
There you go, sweetie.
This one's mine.
Twist and turn, that's what they say.
Pour,
Pour,
and then twist
turn,
as you're stopping.
twist. There you go.
Perfect.
I figured it out.
That just makes it so you don't drip.
Hmm?
Makes it so you don't drip.
Yeah.
Usually you have to have
The cloth, right? The napkin, right?
And the steely look.
Cheers. And the steely look. Cheers.
Cerno fuego.
Well, first I'm just noticing the amber color of this wine.
What are the three things we have to remember?
Yeah, we looked at the visuals, right? We looked at the color of the wine or the
Yeah,
spirit.
it's like the
Then the nose, and then the palate, right?
the visuals.
The visuals meaning what color is it?
Okay.
That kind of stuff. So this is amber, yellow, what do we call it? Golden, right?
No, this is your wine.
This is my wine.
Then how it sits in your mouth after the aroma.
Yeah, I'm smelling the nose right now. And definitely a lot of citrusy notes coming through. Apples, pears, lemons, lemon,
Yeah.
grapefruit.
Nice.
Definitely very kind of new worldy, almost like a New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc. And it's interesting that it's that because most Pinot Grigios are not this fragrant, but this one is.
Yeah.
And I think the way you do it, I was reading, was that you let the fermentation continue with the grapes in the pot, and that brings out the flavors,
Okay.
kind of the citrusy flavors. So they let it sit for like probably a few days to let all that soak in.
Is this the one that you were talking about the barrels before?
Yes. So the barrels are basically
Off screen.
they are basically in steel tanks, right? That's what they use.
You told me.
Yes, and they put it in steel tanks, and they let it sit for a few hours, and then they let it ferment for a while.
In the steel tank, so
In the steel
there's
tank,
no
yes.
oaky taste.
No oak here.
And Marion was saying how it tastes kind of irony, metal.
It has a metallic taste. That's probably because of the steel.
Steel.
But can you really taste steel? It's just that you can't taste
It
though.
tastes kind of irony.
Yeah, it has a little non-woody taste to it.
Tinny.
Tinny taste. Tinny.
Kind of tinny.
Like beer in a can.
I hear you.
It's different from a bottle, right?
That it is.
Maybe that's it.
But this was
Like the test when you apply for Irish citizenship, they give you a test, and the last part of the test is they give you a can of Guinness, and they say pour it, and then one guy's like this, no, never drink get this from my can. And they say, yes. And he goes, okay, you're in. You're a citizen now.
That's hilarious. Well, let's drink to that.
Mm-hmm.
This is good. I'm getting a hang of this
Pouring thing?
pouring thing and the Pinot Grigio in terms of this new kind of entity that is.
Yeah, I used to work in my mom. Oh, I didn't work. I volunteered in my mom's restaurant when I was little. And everyone who worked there would teach me things. I learned how to make escargot. I learned how to wash dishes. I learned how to bus. And I learned how to pour wine. I also learned about the 7 wines of a gourmet night. Making sure like they have an intermezzo after every course and different kinds of wines. And one of the things I learned to do is how to pour wine.
Nice.
Didn't learn how to manage a restaurant, which would have been much more helpful. But I know how to pour wine.
Definitely a good skill set to have.
Come back over?
No, it's cold.
Okay. There's a cushion.
So CJ's wife made us a pasta, turkey pasta, and this went beautifully well with that.
Wonderful.
Full disclosure, we did try this before, and we tried it with the pasta. It worked great.
It was a dry run through.
Yeah, it was a dry run, but
A dry wine run through.
dry wine run through. Yes.
Dad joke.
There you go. Happy Valentine's Day.
That's nice. So what is it? Does it go well with chicken? What does it go well? What does it pair well with?
It goes well with turkey pasta that he just served us.
White.
Yeah.
So hey, no complaints. Fish, chicken,
Wait, turkey pasta with the heart-shaped pepperoni on top.
There you go.
You didn't see that.
Oh, heart-shaped pepperoni.
We have pictures to prove it. And or the heart-shaped.
Red pepper on the vegetarian one.
Yeah, this is
That's good.
very versatile. Pinot Grigio. This is the Marcianco 2020, and
So how's the logo?
the
It's
logo.
kind of busy to me.
It's very
I like
old
the
school, don't you
label.
think? Look at this. It's so old school. It's like straight out of some some Italianate
What's the
building
price point on this?
in Rome or something.
How much does it cost?
This is, I think, not too expensive. This is like just north of $10.
Okay.
Yeah,
Does
it's
they have a good website?
The website is okay. I'm more interested in the label here. I like it's very old school. It's like, as I said, it's very Italianate. You know, look at those, the leaves and
show that.
everything. It's so old school. I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to say,
I think it's one of those typefaces that I never use, but I always kept in my computer. They have like the regular typeface, and then they have the condensed typeface, and they have the bold typeface. And it's all right. It's kind of monochromatic. It doesn't give you any vignette. Doesn't show you anywhere where you're supposed to, like, what you're supposed to look at first. I mean, granted, the wine name is the biggest, but the name of the vineyard is as big too. So
it's almost like they didn't have any ideas. They just like grabbed something off some Italian, building. Old
cheated
building,
out
and
their
they just
neighbors?
cheated, and they said, well, let's just stamp this on our Pinot Grigio and be done with it. So I think they haven't put any effort into it. It looks nice. It's not bad looking, but they could have done a better job.
So why are there wines coming out of Europe that are twist tops? Because it's cheaper?
It's cheaper. I think cork is getting more expensive. Portugal is the only place that sells cork right now.
Really?
Yeah, and so
There's a cork embargo?
it's a cork embargo, and so
It's because the Chinese.
there you go.
Embargo, that's fun.
And China is buying up all of Portugal anyway. So
China's buying up Portugal?
yes, literally.
Okay.
The British used to own a bunch of Portugal because they used to get port from there. So if you see Taylor Fladgate Port, that's actually a British company doing business in Portugal.
Yeah.
And now the Chinese are coming on and they're buying huge swaths of land. And so Portugal is becoming a very interesting place to be. And people are trying to move away from cork because of the price issues.
Because of the Chinese.
Yeah. So anyway, this is a screw top, not bad at all. Again, this is available at Cobblestone Wine and Spirits. Get yourself one. Pinot Grigio Marcianco 2020.
So next wine, Roscato Italia. They have a whole slew of different kinds of wines. They have from dark, super dark. They have a Blanco, which is really almost a white. They have a Rosé, and they have a Prosecco wine that's a bubbly red wine, which I didn't drink, but it was on the website. The website's pretty cool. It is very heavily developed. A lot of pop-ins, pop-overs, but the user interface isn't very good because to get back to any place else, you have to go back to the homepage. So, but it's very, very, the developer is very good. So, a very nice logo. The problem is that logo, the map logo, was a tattoo for people who, in New York City during the 80s, who were bisexual. And if you had a tattoo like that in your arm, it meant you were safe to talk to because you were bisexual or gay also. So before you do your logo, do your research and find out what that means.
So what is it? This, I looked at this thing and it kind of reminded me.
It's a bisexual wine.
Maybe. No, I hope not.
It's like the
It's a red that
The
wants
thing
to
about
be
wines,
white.
it's a. So our
dark
question
red
was.
blend. Now,
The question is, are dark wines sweet? When it comes to the blend of wines, you're never sure what you're going to get with a red wine. You're going to get sweet. You're
yeah,
going to get
it's
bubbly
all over the
now.
place.
So it says that this wine is bubbly, but we'll find out.
Bubbly.
Yeah, the Roscato website has areas of the website where you can download the logo and download a picture of the label, which is kind of weird. I don't know who would ever want to do that, but
For the press, probably.
yeah, but it's pretty accessible. So, see, there's a Roscato Blanco, a Roscato Smooth. They slip back and forth between Italian and English for some reason, and the website has a whole lot of typos.
That's never a
But
good
there's a
thing.
Roscato, the Blanco, which is good as aperitif, and they all say they're incredibly food friendly. So all the wines are incredibly food friendly, or the copywriter got bored and just put the same thing on every page. So it says it uses modern wine making techniques, which really means that they use the expensive grapes and they also use cheap grapes to make it cheaper. But so the Blanco has some very light peach, yellow apples taste, has only 8% alcohol. The Roscato Smooth, which is a smooth red blend, which is more of the expensive grapes and the cheap grapes put together, it's supposed to taste like raspberry, cherry, and vanilla, which I hope it isn't natural vanilla flavor. We'll get to that later.
So this one is a blend of 3 grapes, right?
Well, we haven't done that yet.
We haven't done that yet. Okay.
It's
Okay.
got
We're
on the
getting
list.
there. Okay.
We're still in the first row.
No worries.
But the
No rush.
the Roscato Smooth, the Blanco is 8% alcohol. The Roscato Smooth is 13%, which is pretty high for a wine. And then there's the Roscato Gold, which is very good for an aperitif, to be eaten with your appetizer, which is usually a fish or a lighter dish or like a salad, and that's pretty light. It's only 7% alcohol. Then there's Moscato, which has a very nice label, but it has the bisexual logo on it, and the label has a whole lot of outlining, which means it has the cool little map, the compass there. It has a whole lot of blue outlines, which means it's an awful packaging work. And that's has a very nice logo. It's a very bad logo treatment. And you have to add color behind your logo. You designed it wrong. And that's only 7% alcohol. And then there's a Prosecco, which is lighter, has green apples and citrus tastes. It persistent bubbles, but it's like a red wine Prosecco. I didn't know they made that. I thought Proseccos were a white wine. Shows how much I know.
We had some pink ones.
Or a pink one, yes. They also have the Proseccos are always, it says to enjoy them chilled. But some of them, I'll get to that. There's the Roscato Dark, which is very good. We'll get to that last. But then there's a Moscato, which is 7%. And then there's a sparkling sweet red. It says serve at cool temperatures. But it says it's always supposed to be at 32 degrees. So remember back in the 80s or 90s when they had those ads for Coors where it says Coors beer is always supposed to be served cold and kept cold. But then you'd go to the ShopRite or something, you see big stacks of Coors that are all served warm, and that really killed Coors for a while.
Yeah.
You're supposed to drink this Prosecco, but it's always supposed to be kept cold, like milk, I guess. So, but that's what it says.
Is it pasteurized?
Must always be kept at 32 degrees. Warmer and colder, but it says 32.
Okay.
And that has a 10% alcohol. And now we get to Rosé Dulce, which is very pink looking. It also looks like watered down Jolly Rancher. And so that's very good with Italian dishes, spicy foods, and more. These are all reds, but they're all Proseccos. So some of them are Proseccos, so it's pretty good. somewhere pretty light. And now we have the Prosecco Dark. This is only 7% alcohol.
Prosecco Dark.
Yes.
That's an interesting
Roscato
category.
Dark.
Roscato Dark. Okay.
Sorry, not Prosecco. Sorry. But they all says that they're bubbly.
That's
but it's
very,
not.
very interesting. Okay.
But it's not. So
It's probably not. It does look bubbly.
yeah. It says the wine is fermented at skins of a temperature not more than 79 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay.
I don't know why an Italian website is giving degrees in Fahrenheit. In order to preserve the fruity aroma. So it's aged in stainless steel tanks instead of oak for some
no
reason.
oak anyway, so that's
because
good.
it's
No
cheaper,
oakiness.
I guess. And
No, I mean, it's just a style.
it is?
It's a style.
I thought it was just like...
No. I mean, it's just a matter of the winemaker's preference saying, hey, we're not
Oh.
going to be doing oaky for this one. It could be an expensive one.
Or again, then I'm showing my ignorance. I apologize. So this is bright and lively. It has overtones of black fruits, berries and plum, combined with hints of coffee and chocolate, which Marianne liked. So it's pleasing and well balanced to the palate. Hints of black cherries. Already said that. And excellent. They'll say, next to all the wines, they have these pop-ins that show all different wines on the website, and it says, "Excellent to be enjoyed by itself." And I quickly read that at first, and I'm like, oh, you can drink this by yourself.
Of course.
If you don't have any friends, that's okay to drink by yourself. Also, idea pairing with meats and spicy dishes. So this is for meats, heavy, not to be served with fish dishes. So
Let's give it a shot.
it's more intense.
And the twist. Beautiful.
Sweet.
It's nice and dark. I mean, it's like I can barely see through it, even against this light, right? I mean, I just cannot see anything. It's like completely obscures the light. It's so thick and syrupy.
It's better than what was it? The Rosé Dulce. It might just be the picture they took, but it looked like you diluted a watermelon Jolly Rancher. It was so purpley, pinkish.
But this I would assume would be a very heavy tannic wine.
I
But
thought you were supposed to look at this and supposed to see the lines.
yeah, the
as they
legs.
come
I think
down.
Marianne mentioned that the legs, right? And so it's heavy in alcohol, which
Yeah, it's only 7%.
smells like it.
This is only 7%.
Yeah, that's interesting. But you see that a lot of legs going on, so that's
The
very interesting.
Roscato Smooth has 13%. So it's
Wow.
almost double.
Okay. Let's give it a nose. Definitely smell a lot of the plums, blackberries. I smell a little bit of coffee going on here.
I smell the coffee, yeah.
Yeah,
You smell chocolate, sweetie?
I there's a hint of chocolate, not very
You're not
obvious,
sweetie.
but I would rather.
It's milk chocolate, it's not dark.
From today onwards, I am the new sweetie.
Mr. Sweetie.
Mrs.
you.
Sweetie. Mrs. Sweetie. How's
now.
that?
Hey now.
Talk about Bishop guy sitting here.
It's Valentine's Day. Come on.
Hey
And it's
now.
21st century.
Yeah, for some reason, when you look at these, you can download the labels, the logo, the front label, a back label, for some bizarre reason,
They want you to have everything.
and a PDF of all the marketing jargon.
This one's growing on me.
Like when I was in college, instead of having a wine and cheese party, we used to have Mad Dog and Cheese Whiz, and we would have little labels next to all the different kinds of Mad Dog, because Mad Dog has 7 flavors, by the way. And next to all the cards in Mad Dog, it would say, goes well with chicken.
It is smooth.
Nice.
It's kind of smooth. I mean, I was expecting that tannic aggressiveness to pop through, but it hasn't done that. It's very fruity, and I think this will be I personally would prefer this for dessert. I don't know about you, but
Cheesecake.
cheesecake. There you go.
It's my cheesecake.
Really, I mean, because
We
a
just
lot
say
of
that
people
every time.
think you can have this with
That's our
steak and
thing,
stuff.
right?
Yeah,
It goes well with cheesecake. Because you send us some
Every time we
cheesecake.
have red wine, we're like, this
Yeah.
would go well with cheesecake.
cheesecake. Yeah, why not?
Free cheesecake. Donated by
Free cheesecake.
our active listeners.
But this is a good dessert wine.
Nice.
To me, it's dessert wine. I mean, it's not like sweet, but it's good to be had with like cheesecake.
Cheesecake. Or
It
cheese.
doesn't say it's for dessert.
Does it?
No.
It doesn't, and that's interesting because they haven't
With
made
red
that
meats
connection
and
yet.
spicy dishes.
I would
Red
disagree
meats.
completely.
Mm-hmm.
I would completely
Then there's
disagree with
the,
that observation.
That's the dark with the logo.
And spicy, like spicy what? Like
the
chili?
dulce.
This would be good with
This is
chili.
spicy
though.
foods.
Chili?
Yeah.
The sparkling red
That would
wine.
work, yeah.
It says this is
But not
slightly
really
sparkling,
spicy though.
but it says this is sparkling a little bit, which is kind of weird.
I can't
don't
see
see
any
any
sparkle in
of it.
this.
Wow.
That is weird.
It is dark.
Fix your typos on your website, Mr. Roscato.
Mr. Roscato.
And what
Mr.
they-
Roscato, Mr.
You know,
Roscato. Tamo, tamo.
I saw Roscato and it reminded me of
Thank you
Moscato.
very much, Mr. Roscato.
Roscato.
What's Moscato?
Moscato is the sweet stuff that we had
Roscato.
a few weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Remember the Moscato, the Yasti, the bubbly
Yeah,
that we had for
okay.
it was wonderful.
holiday wine? That was very nice. The Bartanura,
Oh, yes.
right? You remember that?
Yes.
That's awesome. You remember all the names.
I love the fact that it's smooth, not oaky. That's one of the things I actually like about this because they've given all the fruits their due, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know, they haven't like shied away from the fruit. This is like all fruit. Here you are, you know, kind of thing.
That's cool. What do you mean?
So some people try to kind of shy away from the food by saying, "Oh, here's some tannins for you, some oak for you, and that'll balance everything out." But these guys are like, "No, let the fruit play its part, and let it shine through." And I think that's
fruit?
what's happening.
You're saying
here.
fruit?
The fruit,
Okay.
yeah. Like a fruit compote, which is shining through, and it's not being obscured by the tannins. You know, so it's a very fruity wine, and I like it that way. You know, they're genuine and they're real about it. That's what I like
Nice.
about this wine.
The website's really good. They have their own dedicated subweb, very well developed. There are lots of copy mistakes, which is pretty embarrassing. But the typeface is a nice open face typeface, which means,
Maybe they need a new marketing team.
yeah,
Maybe they do.
sweetie pie marketing. So Roscato, the dark is very good. The website's very good. The open face typeface is pretty good. I don't see any holes in the logo.
It's like it reminds me of like a fantasy show, a dark fantasy show,
Yeah.
right? It's like has that kind of.
All the logos are pretty good.
yeah,
You can
it is.
download them all for some bizarre reason.
There you go. If you
on
want
the
to,
website.
knock yourself out.
Yeah, you can copy it.
Yeah.
So,
So each of these wines serve different purposes, right?
yeah.
So this is great with seafood, chicken, turkey pasta that we just had. All round great wine. You know, can't go wrong for the price. $10 more or less.
How much was the Roscato?
The Roscato is I think 12 plus.
Okay. That's pretty good. They're like 6 or 7 different kinds. The website's very nice.
Yeah.
Some Proseccos, some dark Proseccos. The marketing is kind of weird because you're supposed to keep it cold all the time, but I'm sure if you buy it there, you're going to buy it warm.
Yeah. But this
There's
is
some
a good
rosés.
yeah, this is good wine for the money, and it's true to its objective of being a dessert wine almost. You could have it as steak and stuff, but I would
Actually,
prefer
none of them said dessert wines. They all said they're with
is-
aperitifs. There's a Blanco, there's a Rosé, aperitifs, served with pastas or meats. This is a dark, I said to be served with meats.
I'll have to challenge the winemaker to do some jiu-jitsu one
Yeah.
of these days
Okay.
because I don't agree with them at all.
You can do that and you can fix all the typos on their website.
There you go. Me do jiu-jitsu, you fix the typos. How's that?
Yeah, sure.
Done.
Just keep
So
going.
thanks for watching. I'm CJ.
I'm Ashish, and thank you for watching again. Again, this is being sponsored by Copplestone Wine and Spirits in Ocean Township, New Jersey. And get your bottles.
Links in the bio.
There you go. And get your
Drinks
bottles
and
there.
Design Podcast.
Yes.
We are down the shore marketing and have this with the appetizers and this with your dinners. Although Ashish wants you to have it with your desserts too. I think Ashish just wants you to have lots of wine.
Yes, with your desserts. So keep drinking, guys.
Happy
And
Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. Have a good one.